we're going to have a real populist movement in this country, we have to have a reinstatement of our imagination that is not merely driven by pundits on TV, but a larger vision. And most of the time, your greatest vision comes in your darkest night. Because it is then, Dr. King says, that you see the brightest stars. And so one of the things that prophetic moral vision has to do is restore the kind of hope, somebody say hope, that is the refusal to accept the reading of reality, which is the majority opinion at the particular time. Now, this kind of hope is subversive. In fact, it has tended in America to get some people killed. Because there was a guy that got killed simply by saying, I have a dream. And Dr. Lisher, who taught me in seminary, said he didn't get killed for saying, I have a dream. He didn't even get killed for loving people. He got killed for talking about love and hope and dream in the wrong places and connecting a vision of love to a vision of power and a vision of justice. I don't care if they have the votes. I don't care how many state houses there has to be somebody that says there's something better than this kind of vision for the country. Deny health care, deny public education, deny workers' rights, deny LGBT rights, deny women's rights, deny immigrants' rights, and if you really want a great society, after you finish denying all of that, give more tax cuts to the wealthy and give people more guns. Somebody asked Henry Thoreau one day, was he going to apologize? And he was, up against the forces of slavery and everything, and they had all the votes. They had the Congress, they had every state house and all that. And he started talking about civil disobedience. Somebody said, would he repent for his action? He says, the only thing I'm going to repent of is my good behavior. That's all I'm going to repent of. And then he said, and then I'm going to try to figure out what demons possess me to be so good-natured in the face of such injustice. That says to me, a populist movement may come in here, you come in here to get tutored. But we got to go to the streets to make change happen. The attacks were defined and developed by Kevin Phillips, a Nixon Republican strategist. And it came to be known as the white Southern strategy. And basically the argument is this: we don't have to change all of America. If we can just hold the South, we can keep America from rising. Phillips called America the melting pot that never melted and explained that all you've got to do with American politics, this is something I wrote in a chapter of a book, that all you've got to do in American politics is work out who hates whom, and you've got it. But then you remember Lee Atwater told on him. 1981, he slipped up and told on him. He said, I hate to use the word, but he said you start out in 1954 by saying nigger, 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 but by 1968 you can't say nigger because that hurts you, so you say stuff like forced busing, or you say stuff like cutting taxes. And these become code words to sow fear, particularly in the hearts of Southern and Northern whites. I'll talk about that in a minute. He said it sounds totally economic. It doesn't sound racist at all. But the byproduct is that blacks get worse than whites, and whites are moved by fear to vote against their own best interests. I'm trying to get progressives and people who believe in a fusion and a populist and a more to understand you and I and this vision is not being attacked because we're weak. You're not being attacked because you're weak. You're being attacked because the enemy of Reconstruction and fusion politics sees more clearer sometimes than we see what our power is if we will organize ourselves and build a movement. They see the handwriting on the wall. They see the browning of America. They see young people coming together. They see LGBT and straight people finding a way to come together. They see the demographics. But what would be the tragic commentary is for us not to see it, to forget who we are. In North Carolina, we've come together building on 7 years. I don't want any of y'all to think Moral Monday just happened last year. We've been working for 7 years building this coalition. We had to start when Democrats were in office. Because I'm sorry to tell you, sometimes Democrats don't do what they should do when they have the power. And then Republicans do what they shouldn't do when they have the power. So you got to have an independent movement that says it doesn't matter who's in power. There are some things that are just right, and we demand that they be done. The movement in North Carolina is about the moral fabric of our society. We have to have language like J.W. Hood had and Samuel Ashley had that's not bound by partisanism, but language, deeper language that reaches people's soul, gets inside of them, pulls them to another place. Ask them, don't you still want to be human? I stopped by to tell you that I believe labor rights is not a left or right issue. Women's right is not left or right. Education is not left or right. Helping people when they're down is not left or right. Making sure they're unemployed is not left or right. Those issues are the moral center of who we claim to be as a people. I don't want people to go left or right. I want them to go deeper into who we're called to be. 945 of us have been arrested for lifting up this call. Thousands have come. Since April 29th, we've had 114 different activities around the Forward Together Moral movement. In February, we saw over 80,000 people come, the largest gathering in the South since Selma. 60% white in the South. When we started, the governor was at 50% in the poll. Now he's under 30 and falling. When we started, the legislature was over 40% in the poll, and now they're under 19% and falling. If we can build a coalition in North Carolina in the South, if we can build a coalition in Mitchell County that's 99% white and 89% of Republican, don't tell me that we can't build a coalition all over America. Don't tell me that we can't transform this current tide of extremism. I want to know, Ephraim, are you ready to fight? God has given you everything you need. All we need to do is fight back and fight